They will give you always the best rate.
They connect to Binance, HitBTC, LMAX, and Kraken.
What I like about SwissBorg is that they have an amazing app.
Pow wow, yo, yippee, yay, guys. It's pile number 47. Super excited to be with you guys today. As always, we'll dive into the love of the community, talk about what's happening on the markets, and give you fresh updates about SwissBorg ecosystem that is flourishing on a daily basis. As you know, my name is Cyrus Fazel. I'm the proud founder and CEO for SwissBorg, here to serve you. Et dédicace à tous nos super vaudois et à tous nos lausannois qui sont aujourd'hui tous réunis pour écouter ce powwow en live. Je suis vraiment sincèrement désolé de ne pas être là avec vous. Je suis malheureusement à Helsinki. Donc beaucoup d'amour à vous, beaucoup de green hearts. And let's get back into the green eyes. Question of the week. What is the deciding factor when to initiate the protect and burn? As you know, guys, we put a lot of emphasis on the SwissBorg token, on making sure that is the heart of our ecosystem and that is always used in multiple different ways. Just by the way, guys, if you have any other great ideas about how the SwissBorg token could work, please let us know here in the comments, and the favorite one will be for sure considered. And the protect and burn is a really good way, as it's said, to protect the SwissBorg token, right? It's a good way to see that when essentially there's some weak signals happening on the SwissBorg token, well, then we initiate a buyback and then we burn it to make sure that we're protecting at all sides, but at the same time, really to show that it's a deflationary token and it's really here to create value and essentially grow part time. And when is it initiated is, as I said, is when there's some weakness into it. However, a lot of times people see that when suddenly market crash, such as last week, you know, the token itself crashes and people like, oh, we should initiate the protect and burn. Where the consensus of the market files by itself, there's no real need to do the protect and burn. Because if you start initiating the protect and burn each time the market collapses, it will just essentially, you know, do that spiking fall, right? So essentially it's really here to protect it and to make this deflationary and make it really happen, trigger only this great resistance or this great support, when things are not looking very well for the SwissBorg token and not necessarily when the whole markets are red and bleeding. Announcement for our community that are in Helsinki that'll be attending Slush. SwissBorg will be there. I will personally go there. Actually, I'm about to take the plane and I will be co-hosting a lot of great events around Slush in Helsinki. There's going to be a really cool blockchain hub. And so I will be there starting December 1st from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. So any people that are in Helsinki, please come check us out. Ask them some questions. We have a lot of cool stuff happening over there. It'll be great to welcome you in at Slush in Helsinki. As you guys know, our community is always growing on a daily basis and we're looking for a lot of new stuff as always. We are over 220 people, I think so now, at SwissBorg, and there's a new position that is about metaverse product manager. So if you're involved into the gaming industry, please check this out. If you have friends, please refer them. We'll give you up to $3,000 worth of SwissBorg tokens, and I'll add $1,000 if it's a woman. Metaverse product manager. Why? Are we going to build something purely in the metaverse, or is it something to analyze really products in the metaverse? You know, what's your think on that? News of the week. So I think so. Crypto FOMO. Let's start with Tanzania. You know, it's about to launch its own essentially digital currency. Not sure it's on the blockchain or not, but they're going to do it. They already have cool thing goings on there of like easy pesos. That is one of their local way to pay through Zanzitel, I think so. Bitcoin breaking barriers as well. Bitcoin network overtakes PayPal in a quarterly volume, which is quite insane when you think about it. As you guys know, well, crypto versus COVID, market has plummeted last week with new COVID variants. And last but not least, for those who don't like sheep, well, there's a little guy that is like under 30 that has made, you know, zillion dollars just because he bought SHIB in 2 years ago, I think, or a year and a half ago, with like 7,000 pounds, and now he's like the king of the valley and already is on retired in Bali. So good for him. Back to the norm. We saw that Bitcoin has went through a little mini crisis, right? I think so. The financial markets in general has went through quite a massive bloody bath, which quite sucks to be honest. I think so. This really covariant is really something to take seriously. It looks like even people that are vaccinated actually get to, unfortunately, attract this COVID, and definitely the fact that Moderna just have said that their dosage of even after 2 different injections, it's not extremely clear if your antibodies are really well prepared for this new variant. However, long story short, it looks like this variant is not as strong, as maybe very contagious, but it doesn't give the same segmentation and the same essentially degree of illness. So that's at least that. But though the market has really dipped just during our bull run, which that sucks. But anyway, things happens like that. What we do have to know is that on Sunday, there has been a lot of diamond hands, right, that like bought into MicroStrategy, bought 7,000 Bitcoins. I think so have almost like 1% of the total supply, and it's going to get to there, which is quite crazy when you think about it. Over 120,000 Bitcoins these guys have. So that's really crazy. Today, we're still looking at ways where, it is a little bit red. What you have to think about this is that Bitcoin is not correlated to the market on the long run. However, on the short run, it probably is. So whenever we're going to have negative news, most probably Bitcoin will fall. And though, if the markets has bad reaction, but there is still the Fed that's supporting and really printing in masses dollars, a lot of those Bitcoins are going to go to dollars, right? A lot of those dollars were going to Bitcoin. However, now we're seeing interest rates very low and inflation massive. We're talking about 4 to 6% in most countries in Europe and especially in the States. So that is something that usually is very, 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 very scary, where the Fed could potentially start printing money and probably will need to hike the rates in the next 2-3 years. And usually when that happens, there's less money on the markets, people are less crazy, and potentially there's a flight to security. In crypto, the flight of security usually doesn't really happen, right? Everything just goes together. Obviously, Bitcoin loses less than the others, but there's no flight to security. Is this going to be a pessimistic outview? It's hard to say, right? We have the world economy not doing very well, but on the same time, where else to invest? Right? There's no credits, there's no bonds. There's commodities is not GDPR. It's not ESG anymore. So people are not willing to buy commodities just for the sake of it. Real estate has been on a crazy increase in the last 2-3 years, even since 2008. Same for stocks. So where's the money going? I still believe money is going to crypto because, look, there's DeFi, you get rates, there's a lot of things going on. It's getting more and more. We're still a very small niche market. So I strongly believe that crypto is going to be definitely, we know it's the present and it's the future. However, we probably have some turbulences coming. And I think so that's okay. You just have to be sure that, you're well diversified, that time to time you start taking some profits and you put that in cash, you put that in the yields, put that in SwissBorg token, and you like that yield and you look at a long-term play and you always, take some profit again, put it in USDC or EURT, yield on it and buy back whenever things dips. Let's talk about Ethereum. This is a very interesting chart. Really show that BTC, right, versus Ether, that essentially Ether has just a crazy year. Has been done phenomenally well. Bitcoin, did 70% so far, which is great. But Ethereum had over 300%. And it really shows that, why is Ethereum really leading? Because we believe in the technology of smart contracts. And as well, the EIP 1559 was a great way to show the deflationary factor of Ethereum, right? We know that Ethereum obviously has its limits in terms of scalability, in terms of gas transactions, but there's still, it's there where all the DeFi is happening. It's there where all the essentially NFTs are happening, and now the future of the metaverse. So there's really, people are relying very strongly. We're seeing more and more adoption on what's happening from the real big players, but as well at the everyone players, that people are getting interested. You know, there's potentially as well announcements of an ETF that could happen. If that happens, that'll be obviously crazy. And all in all, obviously there's Ethereum 2.0, but there's all these different layer 2s. One that is extremely interesting is obviously Starknet, which is behind the technology of DYDX. It is most probably one of the layer 2, the most interesting one. And it has the alpha that it went mainnet. It went just recently. Sad enough is that they didn't go for an ICO. They didn't go for a token generation event. They went for actually VCs that went into the equity of their company first, and they'll be releasing probably a token and by you know, who knows when. But I think so that'll be definitely a very good thing to look into. So long and all, I think so Ethereum has done extremely well this year. It has brought a lot to conversations on the table for crypto, and it's really a great year. We're going to see that next year smart contracts platforms are going to grow. We saw Solana last year. What is the one of next year? There's going to be a lot of new traction in that space. All in all, CHSB, I think so we had a very interesting week. Last week went extremely well. The fact of really now being able finally to accumulate a great amount of wealth to the CHSB token for all the token holders, right? I think so this has been, obviously the yield 2.0 has been extremely well. Unfortunately, with the bloodbath in the market, it little bit had tanked the rally that was just starting and the party was going on. That's a little sad part. But we know that today, all in all, their circulating supply is only at 153 million, which is really, really low. And we're seeing more and more people getting into the SwissBorg yield, which I think so that is really exactly what we have planned and why we're extremely bullish on the next weeks to follow with CHSB. So token of the week is Enjin. And I think so we've been, you know, very close to Enjin for a lot of time. I think so obviously these guys have been one of the best players in the gaming the gaming industry, NFT business for already since 2017. What's very interesting to see is that they're going for a crowd loan on Efinity, right? Efinity is a crowd loan that they're looking on to do a parachain on Polkadot. So let's see how this is going to be interesting, how they're going to play it. Are they going to migrate totally into Polkadot or not? We'll see that in the very next future and see how the Enjin token will essentially be part of this Infinity or not. Crypto challenge guy with our beautiful Sunni. I love that little Sunni. I mean, I think so he's the strongest character. Just by the way, you think, by the way, is Sunni a guy, a girl, or I know the two. So what's going to happen with Sunni? Sunni is going to evolve into multiple different ways, making sure that we are really growing the crypto challenge. So we've noticed that people usually in the beginning of the month, they start forecasting, referring a lot of people, and then if they don't do well, essentially they quit and they come back the next month. So what we're going to do is that we're going to do 2 series in a single month to maximize starting for Series Frenzy. I think that's something really cool. For the month of December, we're going to double the pool price, so that's going to be really interesting. We're going to add as well, going forward, 2 different forecasts a day. Like that can feel the game more dynamic. It's more fun for that. And predict another crypto to reduce wariness as well for Series 5. So the start of Series 4, is happening on December 1st. It ends on December 14th. And then we will as well do the second one on starting December 15th to the end of the month, which is really, really cool. And making sure that we'll have 12 hours forecasts, 12-hour daily bonus as well. And the starting point is going to be much higher as well, which is 10K. Server side pin, you guys asked it, more security, and we delivered it. I think so this is something that is really good. You probably have realized that now you could put, a really long password that can enable you really to give more security to this. You know, you could have a 4-digit pin, a 6-digit pin, or even more complex paraphrase. So I think so this is really, really good. And I think so we always making sure that we're the most secure platform and we're providing that to you. For those who forgot their PIN code, you'll have to do another KYC. Sometimes people always like, oh, but you know, I have to put my ID and this and this and that. And it does take time. And to be honest, it happens. And it happens to me, it happens to everyone. But you rather go through all of this than making something very rapid to recover. Because if you get stolen and people get your phone or whatever, this or this and that, if it's able to get all your crypto out of it, this will be the worst. You rather spend few hours taking your ID, taking your for the number one, taking your picture, for number two, making your address in, a utility bill, number three, the proof of wealth, to make that very slow process, because that amount of time and that amount of security will enable you not to get into really the deep bad feeling of losing it all. So I think so security should always be taken very, very, very seriously. User experience obviously is something very important, but when it goes to, you know, essentially, you know, making sure that we know who you are, we do have to put a lot of security on that. And I think so it's the best to put the highest measures possible to make sure that your funds are protected at all time. SwissBorg National Council, as you guys know, at SwissBorg, we take this very seriously. We got a federal council and a national council. The national council could be any of you guys that are supporting us, rather you are Genesis Premium, rather you are a wonderful woman or DEO. We have been growing the cohorts, and you guys have voted. You have voted in a very, very cool way where essentially I thought, to be honest, that the yield on thematics was going to pass. And that was going to be like the most important thing. And completely reverse of coup de théâtre, as we say in French. The trigger orders happened and you guys voted for it. So long story short, you guys will have buy or sell when the price reaches a defined threshold, avoiding monetary constantly in the marketplace and having there to buy or sell. So the funny part of this is that we had I don't know how many, like 100 discussions with Anthony, with Nicolas, our CTO, with Bastien. Anyway, everyone at SwissBorg were going like, yeah, it'll be really cool to have like sort of like limit orders and like that we could buy or sell and people would be able to, you know, start automating a little bit of their process. And we've been looking to this like a lot. And it looks like it is doable. So at first we were very, you know, pessimistic about it. It was like, I mean, not us, but the tech was like, okay, it's gonna be extremely difficult to implement because essentially start putting limit orders in different books. Well, essentially it might trigger these limit orders on multiple different exchanges just for one order, right? Because it's looking always at the best price and at different timing. So that means you could maybe be selling at Bitcoin at, you know, at whatever, 54,000 on Kraken, but then you'll be selling at 53,900 that same moment on, let's say, Binance, right? So it's more complex than that. I try just vulgarizing it. But guys, you voted for it. I'm very interested. I will be using this. I think so. Something that's really good. We know that crypto trade in ranges whenever it's all-time highs. People liquidate some of the positions and, you know, they buy back, you know, 5% lower. If you like doing swing trading, this is going to be extremely important. And it's going to be great as well if you like, you know, not losing too much and having a risk-off approach. Announcement of the week. Obviously, I talked about this last week, but hey, it's here finally. La version française, it's something that really is a game changer. A lot of people that have been downloading and doing KYC on the SwissBorg app haven't really got to like deposits. So if you know any of your friends qui voulaient pas télécharger ou pas déposer de l'argent sur l'app parce qu'ils ne parlaient pas en gros l'anglais, et maintenant, grâce à la version de l'application française, ils vont avoir plus de confiance. C'est le moment de motiver vos amis, vos membres de vos familles, votre entourage pour vraiment s'adosser et comprendre ce que c'est la crypto. Et plus important, de se mettre et même commencer avec 100 euros, 100 francs, peu importe, mais d'essayer et de se jeter pas dans la gueule du loup, mais dans celle de notre magnifique cyborg. So really, really excited about the fact that we have finally put all the power to do this. And now that this is ready, guys, we could ramp up in different languages. So here, I want to hear you guys. Shall we do it in German, in Italian, in Spanish, in Romansh? What is the language in Dutch? In Polish? Please let us know here. What do you think is the best? If it was from me, I don't know. I think so. Well, I still think it's important to have the Swiss languages. So I would definitely do Italian or German first, because the whole Italian market is big, and les Tessinois would be happy. The German market is obviously very big, but I don't know. Maybe it could be cool to have it in different other languages. So please let us know what you think. The Yield 2.0 SwissBorg chart of the week. We saw that there's more and more people active into the yield, which is really good. 73,500, which is great. There's been added 17 million, almost 18 million actually, into the Yield 2.0, which is really good. End of the year CHSB lock, there's over 565, which is great. Last but not least, the newly CHSB investors has been actually 8,000. That is quite insane. That means how much people have got into SwissBorg token. I know that some people are complaining the fact there's a lot of Genesis Premium that are cashing out, and because they don't see the value of of a GP Genesis Premium compared with Community Premium. Well, maybe for some people it is the case, right? Maybe some people believe that, they need to cash out for different reasons because they did just a gigantic profit out of being probably one of the best investment of all time. What I do know as well is that being Genesis Premium, maybe on some months, you guys don't see maybe the best value. First, in terms of trading fees, having this for free, it's just the last time we'll be offering BTC and Fiat on-ramp for free. So only on that basis, that is where all the volume is made, right? So people have to realize that Genesis Premium, you're pretty much using the app for free. You're getting the best execution that you get nowhere else. Okay, the pricing you get nowhere else. The cost you're saving just on that is quite huge. And obviously, right now, the interest rates in the app, the yield are not as high as some would like to have. But the risk associated to high yields is very high, especially in these current markets. And that's what we always have to remember ourselves is that, back in July, we had 40% on USDC. Today, maybe we have only 10% or 9%. But because it always is adjusted with risk. And we would like to get more. And there's a lot of platforms that get much more money. Higher yield. But the risk associated is much higher too. So please keep in mind, guys, that we will develop more and more tailor-made different strategies where you could get the yield and you could start putting your risk barrier where if you want to take it a higher one. But for now, we always want to make sure that we give you the best secure platform for you guys, making sure you make the right decisions and you get the right framework. And we'll be adding more and more different really awesome features to Genesis Premium. Some people think that governance is not a big thing. Choosing a token is not a big thing. How can you believe that governance is not? Governance is a voice. It's the biggest, most important thing is the freedom of speech. This is how democracy works. And if you're able to choose the token that US is about to be listed, I think so next week, oh shoot, I spoiled it. That shows that your opinion counts. If your opinion counts, that means that we're giving faith to the community to have an impact on the SwissBorg network that is changing the world. And you are having that choice. And Genesis Premium will be more and more different ways to participate in the governance. There'll be more and more ways to offer really good things. On this other note, I know that last week some of that really enjoyed the OCAM episode. Some people did not, and it was a bit too long for some people, or did not see the correlation between how SwissBorg and essentially OCAM is going to be working out. We didn't have the answers yet, and that's why we haven't provided the real bigger vision. That does not mean that the SwissBorg IDO platform is not being prepared as we talk. Obviously, we are working on this. We're hiring new people to work on this. We're developing it as well in internal platforms. We believe SwissBorg Network should have its own as well. So getting back to Genesis Premium, we'll always be adding more features there. And yes, we will have a new we'll have a new premium tier We're still working on what is the right one, and then we'll be closing Genesis Premium obviously as soon as we will be launching the new one. And by the way, I'm not too sure about what's the new name. I was thinking last night. I was like really thinking. I was like, what should we have a higher one like the Premium Plus we talked about back then, or should we have like a middle one? Where that's the other thing, right? There's a lot of high net worth individuals that want mandates, that want to participate in SwissBorg venture deals and all that. So there's always that Premium Plus thing that we're thinking. Maybe you need to stake like 100,000 CHSB or have different amounts on the platform. So it'll be maybe a combination of assets and CHSB maybe. And then we're looking at maybe one that will be between the community premium and the Genesis Premium, maybe something at, let's say, 20,000 CHSB. Will have like slightly better things than what's happening with the community premium. So anyways, like always, try to make us transparent. Negative comments on CHSB Genesis Premium, I always take them. I don't take them personally. I take them as a community, and I like the voicing up. It's good that you guys express your feelings. Always please do it with not only complaining though. What I like to hear is I understand frustration, but the best thing about frustration, guys, is how you create solutions. Complaining for the sake of complaining is not that. If you're a Genesis Premium, you have the voice not only to say this is not fair, but to find the solution. And I'm seeking the solution. You guys are not customers. You are community members. You're here to make things better. If you're working, for example, on Bitcoin Core, right, and you are not even paid, you're actually just doing that to just grow the ecosystem. SwissBorg, exactly the same thing, guys. We have to think as a community how we get to be better on a daily basis. How do we improve our systems? And if there's things that you want to add to Genesis Premium, does not require too much work, but does give a very special feeling and as well special, unique touch to it, just write it down. We'll listen like always, and if it's doable, we'll do it. SwissBorg yield and wallets. Things are growing. We had some outflows, inflows. Long and all, it's pretty much the same thing. I think so. EURT has a little bit grown from the others. EURT right now, which is at 13 million. So pretty much stable where we at. No, sorry, this is 8 million only. So I think so we did grow a little bit or not. Maybe, I'm not too sure there. But things are going quite stable. There's so the outflows and inflows. Weekly CHSB data. All in all, we are earning a lot of more and more community premiums, which is great. That's 20% more than last week. 565 is really, really good. For that, the circuiting supply, as I mentioned earlier, is only 153 million there. Price change 6% drop. That's really unfortunate that we went for this bearish market because we did have some bull stigmas. 1.3 million there and close to 120,000. So that's a really great boost into the holders in the app, which are as well yielding. And I think so the 2.0 really help, and as well la version française too, which is going to be kickoff, which brings us to a fantastic community and the DEX. They're a DEX. And it brings us to 9.0. Pretty much everything up besides crypto challenge. Tomorrow night, as every Wednesday night, is crypto night. It's going to be Tarun to talk about all what's happening with the NFT markets, metaverse, and much more cool stuff happening. Looking forward to see where this takes us. As you guys know, the powwow was only for you and me to discuss about everything. So please like it, comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and more importantly, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. End of the year, guys. We're getting into December. Things are getting cold. Please, again, reassure yourself. We are probably going for a fifth wave. Which is going to bring us to be confined again with our loved ones. Please make sure that you are doing the right thing. Everyone always asking me, Sarah, are you COVID certified? I'm like, yes, I am. I do believe that in this time, to make sure you're doing the right things, you're really looking closely, not shaking hands, not kissing people anymore, wearing the mask is when you have to wear it, not traveling as much as you should. I should be saying that I'm going to Helsinki today, but yeah, make sure that you're doing the right things and you're with your loved ones and you're protecting them at all time. Exactly the things that we're doing with our SwissBorg community. Again, encore les Vaudois, je m'excuse. Bravo à Michel et à Fabrice et à toute l'équipe d'avoir organisé ce super cool événement ici en canton de Vaud. Thank you everyone as well. As always, my name is Cyrus Fazel. I'm the proud founder and CEO of SwissBorg, always here to serve you. So be wealthy, be healthy, and love our CHSB. Take care, guys. Bye.
Through SwissBorg, all assets will have a fiat gateway. And here is the thing.
Premium features gives you zero fee trading.
It's an amazing fiat gateway.